Let's go to the other fan favorite team. They did it. They did it. Yes, Bangalore. They had their best friends. You know how Joy and Harsha, I'm sure you both have done it because I never went to school or college. At least not. But apparently you can get your best friend to do proxy for you.
In front of everybody.
It's true though. I mean, it's a known fact, right? But anyway, doesn't surprise anyone. But you get your best friend to do proxy attendance. He goes and sometimes they'll write a paper or they'll pay. That's what Bangalore did with their new best friends, Mumbai. They sent them in. They said, defeat Delhi for us to qualify. We're going to be sitting in our hotel on our bean bags, chewing our fingers. Do this for us. And Joy, that's what friends are for.
Yeah, not only friends are for. Just go back in the history of the IPL and check the tournament for a situation where a team is 8-6 and their net run rate is minus 0.253.
That's because that's Bangalore. When they lose big.
They lose big. Big.
Wow, yeah. When they have a bad day, they really have a bad day, Harsha. They've really got to figure this out. But again, we've spoken about them a bit in terms of what they corrected. They figured out what they needed correcting from the previous seasons to now. They corrected them. They were heavy on, just like we spoke about Lucknow, they were heavy on two people scoring. Right? It was always Virat and AB show. They said, all right, let's get some of the others to perform. They got everybody else to perform. They said, let's, strengthen our bowling. They managed to strengthen their bowling. But then this time, the big guns, which is Faf and Virat and Glenn Maxwell, just didn't show up.
Yeah, I mean, Faf's got 440 runs. He had a 90 and an 80 early on. But down that list, Rajat Patidar, in his first 5 games, made 150. Mahindra Lomror in 1 or 2 games came and did it. But forget what's happened with RCB now. I'm LSG. I'm looking at RCB and I'm counting all the match winners in that RCB side. People who are experienced on the big day of thinking, kya karega ye? And I'm thinking, Faf du Plessis, last year's final, if you remember, Chennai winning last year's final, Faf makes a big score. Virat Kohli, is this the return of Virat Kohli? Oh my God, he'll win matches on his own. DK, Maxwell, he bats 20 balls in a knockout game. I don't know what's happening. One into Hasaranga, there's a slightly slowish pitch. I don't know if can Hazelwood get it in. That team is littered with match winners, and their biggest force, if you put that slide up, third column, third from bottom. Third column, third from bottom.
Kan Sharma, that's right. That is right. He has been, and that was the joy factor question, if you remember a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And which was that he's been part of, 3 in a row?
Consecutive, 3 in a row for 3 different teams.
3 in a row for 3 different teams.
And 21 last year?
Yeah, last year he was with Chennai. And this year he's with Bangalore. Come on, we all need a good luck charm every now and then, don't we? And they've got it. They've got things working for them. And they're coming into this joy on the back of kind of more wins than losses, right? So I really feel like there's this kind of wave. There's this little wave that's crest. And the surfers are going to ride this. I don't know. Just I've got a feeling. I got a feeling. I'm high on believing.
Look, the other thing is that Siraj has been misfiring a lot. But Siraj, I think on a big match day, they will play Siraj. And you take Siraj, people like Siraj and Hazelwood make for a really potent attack because that's the kind of bowling that you have. And I think that's one thing that they've done really well. They've had a couple of guys. See, they've got some nuts and bolts cricketer also there. Shahbaz Ahmed in the middle, uncomplainingly feels like a god. Gives you 15, 20, 25 runs and also turns around and gives you 2-3 overs. And that's what's allowed them to get the kind of balance. So Shahbaz and Maxwell bowling. And Bangalore, if you look at it, traditionally has never been big on all-rounders because they've had gun batsmen who scored a lot of runs and then they've had bowlers who go for a lot of runs. They've never had all-rounders. This time, they actually have 2 or 3 all-rounders in the middle. That's what's giving them real depth. And that's why, and Harsha's point is absolutely taken. It doesn't matter one jot what was there before this. Match winners are match winners. It's like old war horses. You wake them up, they smell this thing on the big day. One of them gets going, it's over.
Yeah, that's right. They've got the engines, right? They've got the engines. As soon as they get a bit of open road, you know that the engine can open and get you 200 kilometers per hour. So that's
just pretend, Gaurav. Just pretend that you are LSG and you're watching MI versus DC. You don't have a stake because you've qualified, but you're watching MI versus DC because you've determined who you are going to play.
Yeah.
Who do you want to play? Would you rather play DC or would you rather play RCB in a knockout?
Good point. DC's got the match winners as well. So it's a tough call, but yes. Yes, but if you look at from how, like, for example, while watching that DC game, you just figured the last game they were playing against MI, they were doing things that were not showing a lot of confidence. You always want to play a team that's not showing you that confidence. Whereas Bangalore in the last couple of games just showed you some confidence. And then just Virat coming in and punching the air and bringing all his imaginary friends and talking to them and shouting at them. You're just like, I don't know if I want to play this guy in this mood, right? And that's what happens. So to your point, yes, you're looking at this team and saying, oops, this looks like fun. Just the last point before we move on to the next team for Bangalore. Our brother, co-conspirator on Cricbuzz Live, Dinesh Karthik, DK, has graduated. We've been talking about that. Look at him. Comeback number 25? I don't know. Just the comeback king. He's the comeback kid. Joy, that's it. We call him the comeback kid from now.
Absolutely. I mean, this outstanding season, and DK has this thing every 4-5 years he'll give you. Like, you remember the other outstanding season he had was in 2018 when he just became captain of Kolkata. And if you remember, he finished again 5 or 6 games for them, took them right up to this, playoffs. 2013, he was the number 3 batsman for Mumbai in a gun Mumbai side. So he does it every once in a while, but he's like aging like fine wine. More importantly, he's enjoying this now. Hey, an old man can make a run for it. I'm still, that boarding pass to Australia still might be in my name. I'm back in Indian team contention. You can make out the enjoyment that he's having in the game, and that's so fantastic.